Well, she's nice. I also like that, like, all the different people, they have different body types and stuff. It's not just sexy anime lady, other sexy anime lady, other, maybe older, but still sexy anime lady. Yeah. Little things taken into consideration. And it also makes it easier to tell everybody apart. Spending the day with Melody was really quite soothing, but I couldn't help but wonder if I should have spent more time productively. Nah. In order not to lose the deletion game, I had to make friends and I had to do it fast. If I couldn't find people to ally with soon, then I was sure to end up on the chopping block. It was the kind of game that relied on other people to win, unless you were lucky enough to get the 10 from the beginning, but all I had was a measly 5. I needed others to make it work, but how? I was the outsider. Why would anyone trust a stranger? I entered the bathroom. It appeared to be empty. It never is! She's always here! You'll remember from the last video, she showed up here as well. Hello, sailor. A voice whispered in my ear from behind. I jumped forward, startled, and had to steady myself on a nearby wall. Beatrix, you scared me. I didn't think anyone was here. Truth be told, I followed you in. I guess that makes me a stalker. Do you like that? I don't know how to respond to that. You can make up your mind later. In any case, after you finish here, would you be a darling and come to the medical bay? I would love to spend some quality time with you. She emphasized that last sentence by dragging her eyes languidly down my form. What about dinner? We've only got a little bit of time before it starts. Don't worry, I'll take care of you. This isn't a meeting you want to miss. Alright, let me clean up and I'll be right there. Perfect. I'll be waiting for you. Beatrix's curious request to meet swirled in my head as I lathered shampoo. I decided that I ought to go see what she wants as soon as possible and brought my shower to a quick close. I toweled off roughly, dressed, and found my way back to the medical bay with the help of I. Good afternoon, Nico. It is good to see you up and about. It's nice to get to stretch my legs, and to get out of those tiny quarters. I imagine it would be. I'm supposed to be meeting Beatrix here. Is she around?
Nicholas?
Enough chit-chat, Nicholas.
Apparently so.
Nico, I asked you to come here for a reason.
And what reason would that be? We'd like to share information with you about the deletion game if you are willing. Oh.
In this game, information is power, so we're going to offer you a deal. 2 for 1. We will tell you our numbers if you tell us yours. It's a simple information swap, but you must be honest.
Why me? We feel a certain duty of care. You were unconscious for most of the time, but Beatrix and I didn't leave your side for 4 whole days. By the end of it, we felt somehow close to you. Regardless of whether the twins were being honest about their reasons for helping me, the fact is that I had to trust someone at some stage. Lying or refusing to give information would only result in missing out on allying with some people I needed to. There was no other choice. It was do or die. Okay. An information swap, then.
After you.
Oh, no. It's too easy for you to go back on your word. You go. I'll go. And then Nicholas can go. How's that? Sorry.
Very well. My number is 2.
I've got a 5. That is wonderful. I have a 3. If we combine all of our numbers, we make a 10 and we're safe.
What do you think? Will you team up with us?
Can I have some time to think this over?
Of course. You still have 2 days. So please think it over and tell us what you think as soon as you've decided. Time is of the essence in this game.
Oh man, now I'm starting to, like, the consequences are starting to weigh on me. Like, if I don't team up with them, Beatrix is probably dead unless somebody with a 1 is floating around there and hasn't teamed up with anybody. In any case, I believe that Beatrix promised you dinner, so no, we're finished our business. Let's get on to something more pleasurable. Nicholas brought out a plate of roast beef and vegetables laced with gravy. Roast beef? I had some of that for lunch today, not that I mind. I'm starting to wonder where the beef is coming from. I'm just saying. There's beef at dinner in the original demo. There's beef for lunch. There's beef for this dinner. Where are the cows? That's all I'm saying. Where are the cows? Or did they really radiation treat that much roast beef? I'm just saying, is all.
A chef is a stickler for keeping the rations. Any meat he cooks is given every meal except for breakfast, until it's gone, so that it stays fresh.
Logically, it makes sense, but we can't help but lament for the paladin every now and then. The three of us shared a comfortable meal. I was shamelessly flirted at by both twins, and occasionally, I flirted back. Time was passed, and before I knew it, I found myself yawning into my hand. Bedtime, I think.
If your quarters are too far away, you could always share mine, you know.
I think I'll manage, thanks. I ambled down the hall sleepily and rolled into bed. The tension I felt earlier had somehow dissipated and had been replaced with a smooth feeling of calm. That comma shouldn't be there. There's your friendly spell check. I slid into bed and fell asleep instantly. I woke up multiple times throughout the night. I couldn't believe that this was happening. I couldn't be fighting for my life. I stared at the ceiling when I heard the door of my quarters open. Startled, I immediately sat up.
It's only me. I'm sorry if I startled you.
I squinted through the dim light. It was difficult to make out a face, but I knew from the voice that it was the captain. I was grateful for the darkness that was obscuring my bed hair and my messy sleeping habits.
What time is it?
4:30 hours. I'm sorry about the intrusion, but I must speak with you away from the watchful eyes of others. What about?
You skipped dinner last night, as did the Vogels. Is it safe to assume that you were together?
Yes.
What did they want?
Not that it is any of your business, but they asked for information swap for the Make 10 game.
And did you swap information?
That's none of your concern.
Even so, I just want you to be careful. I don't know what kind of person you are yet, but I feel it necessary to tell you that they may not be as upfront with you as you think they are. The Vogels are not to be trusted.
I'll decide that for myself.
Very well, but if you do decide to trust them, then you should be on your guard. You don't want to wind up dead because you trusted the wrong person.
Because they could be lying to me.
I must go. If you need to speak with me again, ensure that it is after hours. I will tell I to make my quarters available to you should you wish to visit. Visit.
Thank you.
Now, go back to sleep.
You have a few hours before breakfast still. Before I could blink, the captain had disappeared from my room, leaving me alone with my thoughts once more. Oh, sure. Sleep, she said. How could I possibly sleep when I thought the Vogels could save me? I thought I was set, that everything would be fine, and now I had people to work with. I guess I was wrong. Another thing I'm wondering, like, I'm not sure if it was made clear in the video, maybe I wasn't paying attention, but is everybody's number unique, or can there be duplicates? That's another thing I'm wondering. Like, could there be another 5? I'm imagining it's unique, but who knows. After a few hours of restless sleep and some hard dreams involving chewing my own teeth and something about insects crawling out of my ears, I was finally close enough to breakfast for me to get out of bed. The day held nothing but anxiety for me now. Today was the last day before the deletion game actually took place. For all I knew, tomorrow I could die. I walked down the corridors of the ship, gazing at the stars through the windows as I made my way to the dining room. Suddenly, a pair of hands accosted me from behind, grabbing my stomach and hauling me backwards into an unknown room. I spun around frantically once I was released. Oh, it's her.
Mission accomplished.
Oh, they're both here. A man and a young girl stood before me, ominous smiles painted on their faces. The girl with vivid blue hair stood proudly, as if satisfied with the job well done. None of this seemed quite as pressing as the gleaming knife in the hands of the man. He stepped closer to me.
Konnichiwa.
I see our guest has arrived at last. What do you want from me? The man advanced closer. I shrank back in fear as he flipped the knife in the air with a practiced hand and offered me the handle.
Dozo.
Care to do the honors? I'm sorry, what?
Katashi made a lemon tart.
Tart au citron, actually.
They're the same thing.
I don't usually encourage sweets before breakfast, but I think we can make an exception on this occasion. Please, sit. Katashi pulled out a chair at the nearby table and carefully pushed the plate of tart towards me. The pastry was golden brown, and the middle had a gentle wobble to it. I usually cut 3 small pieces before handing the knife back to him.
You don't want more? Katashi's a really good cook, you know.
That's plenty big enough. Katashi quickly put the pieces on plates and handed out forks. Shizuka started gulping hers down with enthusiasm. I thought something sweet might soften the blow of our little kidnapping here. It certainly helps. I'm Neko, by the way.
こんにちは。俺は碇片志。エベリット船の環境工学者だ。
Do your thing. Name's Kakashi. I'm the agricultural engineer on the Everett. Hello, my name's Shizuka. That sounded more like a duck than somebody with food in their mouth. I'm sorry. The girl had her mouth full of tart and was preoccupied with stealing Katashi's portion of his plate while he was distracted. Sorry? This bundle of mess here is Shizuka, the linguistics officer, but she also does navigation duties from time to time. We understand that you have been forced to join this round of the game, so we wanted to propose an alliance of sorts.
We want to win this game, but we do need allies.
I'm well aware of that, but how do you even know that we have compatible numbers?
That's easy. I already know your number is 5.
How did you know?
A lucky guess.
Wait, so you really didn't know?
Nope.
Ah, so da.
Ignore her antics. What we really brought you here to talk about is the game itself. Everyone's so preoccupied about finding a partner, no one is really looking at the bigger picture. There's no way to predetermine the winner as a group rather than to backstab... Or there's a way to predetermine the winner as a group rather than to backstab each other in order to survive. Explain.
There's 10 cards, right? Everyone has a different card. If we all came out and honestly said what our numbers were, then we could influence the results. 1 would pair up with 9, 2 with 8, 3 with 7, and 4 with 6. And whoever was left with the 5 would be the one eliminated, right?
We need to work as a team, the whole damn crew. This game isn't just affecting us, but the rest of humanity who rely on us to finish the mission. Shizuka, I think the best thing to do is to vote on it as a group, and then have the person chosen to be eliminated and finish the game with a 5. But the person with 5 will die. That's probably an ending, actually. You've sacrificed yourself for the good of everybody else.
Maybe so, but this is a game that cannot be beaten. I've worked it from every angle. The best we can do is decide as a crew who will be sacrificed. I hate what this game has turned us into. We all used to be such good friends.
We were going to propose our idea of breakfast this morning, and the more supporters we can get, the better. We know the captain is willing to support us. It's just a matter of convincing everybody else. We don't need to give you your answer now, but think it over. I will.
Worst case scenario, if we can't get the crew to agree with us, then we'll team up with you. Katashi has a 2, and I have a 3.
Oh, I see. But Beatrix and Nicholas said they had a 2 and a 3. Someone was lying, and I don't have a lot of time to figure out who. It's probably Dai. Dai is lying.
じゃあ
Alright, let's get over to breakfast before too many people take note of our absence and start becoming suspicious. I don't really have that much time to think it over. If breakfast is coming right up. I followed behind Katashi and Shizuka in a daze. I didn't know what to do. I was lost in indecision. On the one hand, Nicholas and Beatrix have 5, so if I team up with them, I should be safe. But Shizuka and Katashi also said they make 5. But what about what the captain said about the Vogels not being trustworthy? She has known them much longer than I. Then again, she might be lying too. If I support Katashi and Shizuka's idea to vote on who should be deleted, then there's a chance that they will vote for me as being the least useful crew member. I'd only just got here, and they'd be fine for 2 decades without me, so there's no way they would consider me essential personnel. If they voted, though, I could at least make a case for why I shouldn't be killed. I'm young, smart, and my research could possibly solve Earth's problem given enough time. Maybe they would just let me stay and prove myself. It'd be fairer than leaving it up to chance. Need a space in here. And skill at playing some stupid party game. I jerked at the feeling of a hand on my shoulder.
We're here.
I'd been staring at the floor, rooted to the spot in front of the dining hall. Right, thanks. Katashi, Shizuka, and I made our way inside. Everyone was already helping themselves from a buffet of muesli, fresh fruits, and porridge. I grabbed a bowl of banana and muesli with some chilled milk and sat down in one of the empty seats next to Corrupt.
Good morning, Neko. Sleep well?
Fine, thanks. I wasn't really in the mood for pleasantries, so I returned to my muesli. Corrupt seemed content to leave me to my thoughts. By and by, the table was filled with empty bowls and fruit peels. The captain stood up at the head of the table, and instantly a hush fell over the room. No doubt many of you are anxious. There's little I can do to put those feelings at ease. All I ask is that you treat each other with respect. We are the crew of the Everett. We are the best humanity has to offer, and as such we must hold ourselves to higher standards. The deletion game is brutish, but it does not mean that we have to be. Fight fairly, play honorably, and have hope that we will overcome these trials.
そういえば
Captain, may I speak freely?
Please.
As the captain said, we are the crew of the Everett. We must remember that we have a greater
俺ら
purpose.
は負けない
We have a
絶対に負けない
Let him do his thing. Okay. We have a duty to the human race to see our mission through. To do that, we ought to do that with the best crew possible.
Shizuka has created a strategy which allows us to vote on the loser of the game.
Oh, they changed the names before I started trying to talk. I just noticed that. Whoops.
It's pretty simple, really. First we discuss and vote on who should be eliminated. Then that person must swap cards with number 5. Everyone else then pairs up with their opposite number, 2 with 8, 4 with 6, etc.
いい加減にして。
Why would anyone ever cooperate if they lost? It's ludicrous.
違う
If we do this plan, everyone needs to be involved and willing to sacrifice themselves. It's not a pretty plan, but it gets the job done.
まさか
Is this even allowed? Won't I protest?
大丈夫です。
I do not believe that this plan is contrary to the rules. The rules of Make 10 do not prevent disclosure of numbers or coordinated pairings.
でも、
I'd rather not. Nicholas and I are perfectly fine on our own. Don't drag us into your petty little scheme to expose everyone's number and screw us over. We see through it.
そうです
They're hiding something. Like the numbers they told me. I have to agree with my sister on this one. We'd be at considerable risk considering that we are the only profession on board that has 2 officers.
無理だ。
Everyone here is important. There's no way I could ever choose between my friends.
I'm kind of partial to Shizuka and Katashi from the first demo, so I'm backing it. It may be the only way of making sure someone important didn't get killed.
The worth of a person isn't so easily measured.
But someone's going to die regardless. If someone vital to the mission dies, then the hope for all of humanity dies along with them. This is bigger than us. I was exhausted from a day's worth of investigating. Not to mention the mental strain of not knowing whether tomorrow I would live or die really took its toll. I collapsed on my bed, fully clothed. What the hell was I to do tomorrow? Could I trust the Vogels to stay true to their word? Would I be safer going with Katashi and Shizuka? There was little I could do but wait for tomorrow. Unless the captain's magnanimous offer floated back to my memory. I wondered whether I should try to rest up so I could think clearly tomorrow, or if I ought to head over to Captain's quarters for counsel. Let's go talk to the captain. If anyone could help me, it was the captain. When she visited me last night, she had a gentleness about her that I hadn't seen before, like she genuinely wanted to see me safe. Can't do any harm. I swung out of bed and moved quickly through the corridor. I particularly didn't want to be seen visiting the captain at this hour. It might suggest something untoward. Reaching her door, I buzzed her intercom.
こんばんは。
Come in.
The captain's room was the same basic architecture as mine, but hers was comfortable. It looked lived in. Mine still looked sterile, the room of a stranger. The captain herself was sitting in the lounge reading something on her digital display. She folded the tablet onto her lap as I approached and sat down next to her.
よかった。
I'm glad you came.
I need to talk to somebody. I don't know what to do.
This hasn't been an easy situation for any of us. In some ways, you have it the easiest. The person you see die tomorrow hasn't been your friend for a lifetime.
True. But then again, I'll never get the chance to know them all.
It's hard to know which is worse. Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Let's just talk. Anything but the deletion game. That's all anyone has talked about since I've gotten here. Let's talk about something else. You. Tell me about you.
There's nothing to tell.
I'm not asking you to tell me all your secrets. Just tell me one little thing. What do you do for fun?
Well, sometimes no, you'll laugh.
I won't laugh. Tell me.
Promise not to laugh?
If I laugh, I'll only do it on the inside.
Well, I like to knit sometimes.
That's perfectly acceptable. Really? That's it? Why would I laugh?
I usually get old lady jokes by the dozen.
I think it's cool.
Katashi spins leftover wool into yarn, and I use it to make, well, whatever I want, really. Scarves, ties, gloves, blankets. I find it relaxing. No responsibility, no pressure, just me and some yarn.
Do you take requests? Just, I'm sorry? I don't really have any comfortable clothing. I only have this uniform and bedclothes. It's just a thought.
I have been meaning to try to pattern for a long-sleeve sweater vest.
That doesn't make sense. If it has long sleeves, it's not a vest anymore? Unless it's like a shoulder sleeve, but not quite a half sleeve. Awkward phrase. I don't know. Anyway. If you needed someone to model it, I'd be happy to volunteer.
We'll see.
A companionable silence fell between us for a minute. I better get going. Thanks for talking with me.
My door is always open.
Good night, Captain.
Good night, Neko.
I left the captain's quarters in a daze, and arrived back in my room in what seems like seconds. My body moved automatically as my mind wandered. I slipped into my quarters and went to sleep. Hey, Negobun here. Thanks for watching. If you like clicking stuff, try clicking some of the stuff that's on screen right now. It's mostly self-explanatory, though if you click the video, it should take you back one in the playlist. Unless there is no back one in the playlist, in which case, it won't do anything. If you're on mobile, none of it will do anything, because annotations don't work on there, and you're going to have to do things the hard way. Luckily, there's some links in the About section that should save you a little bit of trouble.